Hello and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news, a new poll has Hillary Clinton getting a bump heading into the final days of the campaign, and Donald Trump is facing some challenges or some challenging new numbers. ABC's Mary Bruce has more.
Hillary Clinton took her message to church Sunday.
I won't tell you who to vote for.
The Democratic nominee looking confident with just 16 days to go. And a new ABC News tracking poll taken after the final debate shows why. Clinton is now ahead by double digits, up 12 points over rival Donald Trump.
My opponent thinks belittling women makes him bigger. That may be who Donald Trump is, but this election is about who we are and what we believe.
Clinton Sunday targeting the battleground state of North Carolina, where she'll make her first joint campaign appearance with First Lady Michelle Obama later this week. Meanwhile, Trump is focusing on Florida, but still fighting those accusations of sexual misconduct.
All of these liars will be sued after the election is over.
As Trump pledges to take all his accusers to court, a new woman has come forward. Adult film star Jessica Drake says Trump kissed her and two other women without their consent 10 years ago. ABC News is unable to confirm Drake's allegations. The campaign insists this latest claim, like all the others, is untrue and say it's Trump's right to sue the women.
He's just trying to defend himself against false accusers, as he says. He says those incidents never happened, yet they're covered in the media every single day. He can't get fair coverage.
But that new poll shows 69% of voters don't like the way he's handling the accusations of sexual assault. And 59% don't believe his claim that the vote is rigged. Mary Bruce, ABC News, Washington.
And Donald Trump just left his rally in Naples, on his way to the car. This is a live look at him shaking hands, leaving that crowd there. Trump been able to gather some solid numbers here on the west coast of Florida. Florida, obviously a battleground state. I'm sure he'll be in the crosshairs for several candidates as we move forward in this election. And here on the Sun Coast, we're just hours away from the start of early voting. And as ABC 7's Kate Flexter tells us, both parties are kicking campaigning into high gear. She joins us now live from Sarasota County's Supervisor of Elections office right here in downtown. And how's it looking out there, Kate?
Good evening, Adam. This is just one of 7 locations in Sarasota County and 5 locations in Manatee County where you can cast that early vote. And that early vote is continuing to play a larger and larger role each election season. Pew Research reports that 36% of voters in the last presidential election voted in some way other than going to a traditional polling place on Election Day. And that percentage is expected to go up even more this year. That means for many, voting will be over long before November 8th, leaving parties to change their strategies and amp up campaigning early on.
When you put early voting and absentee together, you're going to be close to 60% of this year's election. So early voting is very, very important.
You don't want to miss voting. And even though in your heart of hearts you want to vote with everyone else on Election Day, there are so many people early voting that it's just as exciting to be in that line and know you voted and that your vote's going to count than take that chance that for whatever reason you might miss it.
For a full list of locations and times to cast that early vote, log on to mysuncoast.com. Live in Sarasota, Kate Flexter, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you very much, Kate. We'll have more details on those campaign efforts coming up tonight. Senator Marco Rubio is joining forces with Congressman Vern Buchanan to discuss the local heroin epidemic. The duo will host a roundtable at Manatee Memorial Hospital in Bradenton about the heroin and opioid epidemic plaguing Florida. They will be joined by healthcare officials, local law enforcement, and community leaders from Sarasota and Manatee counties. Manatee County has been the hardest hit from the heroin epidemic in Florida this year. It's already seen nearly 900 suspected heroin overdoses. The roundtable starts tomorrow at noon. Now let's head over to Steve Newman for a first check on our local weather today. Steve?
Oh, Adam, what a sparkling day today was. Not a cloud in the sky with fairly strong northerly winds. And looking at satellite and radar together, other than these high clouds coming in across the Gulf and some low-level stratus clouds from the cold air blowing over the warm waters of the Atlantic, there's really nothing to be seen on radar or through the satellite view. A close-up view of our radar image just verifies nothing's happening. Our high today was a little warmer than this, 79 the current temperature, dew point 49. That's the dryness in the air that allowed things to cool off overnight. And our low temperature did get down to 54 last night. Some of our interior areas got a little cooler than that. High today, 81. Our average 66 for a low and 84 for a high. Our temperatures overnight will not be quite as cold tonight, bottoming at about 60 degrees in Sarasota. Our complete forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Adam?
All right, Steve, thank you. At least 10 people are dead and others are injured after a truck and tour bus crashed in California earlier today. Authorities say the accident occurred on Interstate 10 in the Desert Hot Springs area. The crash forced police to shut down westbound lanes and a detour was put in place. There's no word on what caused the accident. Dozens of people were taken to a local hospital and an investigation into the accident is underway. A major offensive is also underway in Iraq, pushing back against ISIS. The U.S. military is on hand to help local fighters reclaim the city of Mosul. The campaign will take months, and already concern is growing for the innocent civilians stuck in the crossfire. ABC's Alex Marquardt is in Iraq with the latest.
The offensive on Mosul in high gear. More than 30,000 Kurdish and Iraqi fighters battling towards Iraq's second biggest city, backed by U.S. troops. Those American forces advising and calling in airstrikes on the front line.
Make no mistake, whether they're flying airplanes overhead or whether they're advising units on the ground, even behind the front lines, they are at risk.
This weekend, U.S. Secretary of Defense Ash Carter arrived here in Iraq.
We must do this. We have to protect ourselves from ISIL. They need to be destroyed.
Carter says this operation has been a year in the making and is encouraged by the progress in the last week. Everything, he said, is going according to plan. But there is significant resistance. ISIS fighters have been using waves of suicide bombers, IEDs, booby-trapped homes, even armed drones. The fighting isn't limited to Mosul. ISIS fighters distracting from the advance on the city by staging a large-scale attack in Kirkuk this weekend, killing dozens. As forces recapture ISIS-held areas, many are celebrating.
You cannot sleep without care. You cannot guess when will they take you at night.
And with as many as 1.5 million civilians still in Mosul, there's growing worry about a potential unfolding humanitarian crisis. And though the battle has started, Secretary Carter says the fiercest fighting has yet to come.
ISIL will surely be destroyed. That's going to be difficult, but I'm confident we'll do that. We'll do that worldwide.
Alex Marquardt, ABC News, Erbil, Iraq.
So far, dozens of Iraqi forces have died in the fighting, along with one American, Navy Chief Petty Officer Jason Feenan. Feenan is the first U.S. death since the operation began. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office is investigating a burglary at the Ellington Outlets from this morning. Deputies say it happened around 7:30 a.m. 4 black males wearing Halloween masks forced entry into the Puma Athletic store. After entering the store, the men took an unknown amount of clothing. The 4 men left the store about 1 minute later. The incident is still under investigation, and anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. A structure fire in Sarasota slowed traffic near North Lockwood Ridge Road earlier today. Multiple vehicles responded to the residents at 3030 Gustav Place as a smoke column began to form. It's unclear if anyone was at the home or injured in the blaze or what the extent of the damage to the area may have been. We will bring you more updates as they become available. Still to come here on ABC 7, a fast food fight. Dozens protest at the Wendy's on Tamiami Trail, claiming the chain is treating their workers unfairly.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him. It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, you'll always get the most for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And right now, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet. A new 2017 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month. Or get 0% financing. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Sarasota's Eat Local Week is underway. This was the scene at Palma Sola Botanical Garden in Bradenton. The week celebrates some of the best local food and farming in both Sarasota and Manatee counties. Each year, dozens of partners come together to host several events, including farm and garden tours.
We wanted to learn about all the trees and fruits, what is edible, what we can eat, how to plant stuff, when to know, when we see the fruits, we need to know when they're ripe or not.
The theme this year is Food Changes Everything, exploring the connections between food and different topics like health, art, culture, and the economy. Farm workers are protesting against Wendy's fast food restaurants around the country. Local farm workers choosing to rally this weekend in partnership with Eat Local Week. They are calling attention to the national consumer boycott and rallying against Wendy's refusal to join the farm worker exploitation, as part of the Fair Food Program.
Right now, we have all of the 5 major fast food corporations, including McDonald's, Taco Bell, Burger King. They've all come to the table with us to sign the Fair Food Program so that there could no longer be any tolerance for sexual harassment towards women in the fields, so that there's no exploitation for workers. So under the Fair Food Program, these things are changing, but Wendy's is the only major fast food corporation that hasn't signed the Fair Food Program.
The picket is part of a larger effort called Behind the Braids. Farm workers and consumers are traveling to more than 20 cities for action. A representative with Wendy's could not be reached for comment. Now, in terms of weather, I mean, for a Saturday and Sunday, you couldn't ask for much more. Beautiful days, sun was out, cool though.
A little chilly this morning. Be cold this morning.
A little bit, but you know, as we were talking about, I kind of like it.
Yeah, I had my sweatpants pants on until about noon today. We can't take the cold here in Florida. We're not used to it, but it's going to warm up this week. Take a look at what a beautiful day it was over Sarasota Bay. Hardly a cloud in the sky, maybe a wisp of a cirrus every once in a while, but look at the surface of the bay, a little breezy, and you can see a little choppy from time to time. Temperatures across the state this hour have cooled off into the 70s just about everywhere. Tampa 78, 79 at Fort Myers and Naples, 80 at Key West. And across our viewing area, I think the air is a little drier out in Highlands County with temperatures in the low 70s there, 76 at Miami City, 79 at Bradenton. If we take a look at northern Sarasota and Manatee County, we can see 79 is a pretty good average temperature across the area. Old Mayaca currently 77. And in western Charlotte and southern Sarasota County, again, in the upper 70s for the most part, and we'll drop off to pretty close to 60 for our low tonight. Well, high pressure has been dominating our weather, has nudged a little farther east, shifting our winds from due north yesterday to a more northeasterly direction. And those winds are become more of an easterly component to it as we move this week. And that'll bring in the moisture that'll keep us from being quite as cold at night and also warm us up a little bit during the daytime. And we'll eventually start seeing some cumulus clouds move across the state probably by Tuesday or Wednesday. But right now you can see not a cloud in the sky with those mild northeasterly winds. Across the nation, the jet stream well up to the north, except out west, they will have a parade of wonderful rain and snowstorms out there right on through Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. They've had enough snow out in Colorado at the Arapahoe Basin Ski Resort. Became the first ski resort in North America to open this weekend. They're skiing there right now. Not skiing in New England, but they did get some snow from this very powerful storm over the weekend that's now moved into the Canadian Maritimes. In fact, in the Adirondacks and right up through the heart of Vermont and in parts of New Hampshire and Quebec, they had a half-inch of snow on the ground earlier today from that. And while Montreal didn't get any snow, to the east of there in Sherbrooke, Quebec, they did get about a foot of snow. So, I mean, that's a lot of snow for this early in the season, but because it's so warm up there, it's going to melt very quickly. And tonight, those low temperatures are going to be fairly seasonal across the nation. As we bottom out in the 60-degree range, they'll be about 50, 56 in New York City, and warming up tomorrow to a very comfortable 82 in Dallas, Minneapolis, St. Paul, 54. Now here's our forecast. We have that high pressure in place with that northeasterly flow we've been talking about. And as we move through the next 48 hours, we have an approaching cold front. But look at the trajectory and its position. It's going to come at us through the back door. And this is late Tuesday. By Wednesday, it'll pass south, but there's not a lot of cold or dry air behind it. It's just going to reinforce the very comfortable conditions we have right now and keep us from warming back up. So again, that front will come by about Wednesday afternoon. So here are your weather headlines, things to remember. It is going to be not as cold tonight. It's also, we're also going to have a slow warming trend this week, but nothing dramatic. Pretty close to normal for the rest of the week. And it's going to stay mainly dry right on through the end of the week with just a slight chance of rain. Here's our forecast for the marine interest. Northeast winds 5 to 10, seas 2 feet with a moderate chop in bay and inland waters. 82, the beach temperature tomorrow. The water temperature, it's cooled off to 75 because of our chilly mornings. And here's our 7-day outlook showing that we will have only a 10% chance of rain when that front comes through on Wednesday. But look what happens to the temperatures. Really not much this week, Adam. Maybe next weekend a 20% chance of rain. But I think this is a weather pattern we can grow to like.
Now, sports.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers are back on the gridiron following a bye week, but they're still down a few key players, including running back Doug Martin. They take on the 49ers in San Francisco. Colin Kaepernick getting his second start of the season. And first drive from the 4, Mike Davis takes the handoff and takes it in. Niners out in front early, up 7-0. Later on in the second quarter, the Bucs are down a touchdown, 14-7. Kaepernick's pass is picked off by Bradley McDougald, the fourth-year safety. Tampa Bay would convert a field goal on their ensuing offensive drive. And then right before the half, the Bucs looking to take their first lead. Winston dropping back and finding Russell Shepard, a fourth-year man out of Louisiana State. The Bucs take a 3-point lead into the locker room, and they're currently leading 27-14. The Dolphins hosting LaShawn McCoy and the Buffalo Bills today, but another running back would take the spotlight. Dolphins' Jay Ajayi tying a NFL record with 2 straight games rushing for over 200 yards. He had 214 today and a touchdown. And then after giving up 2 quick Buffalo touchdowns, the Dolphins storm back. This is Kenny Stills catching the pass from Ryan Tannehill and taking it 67 yards in the 4th quarter. Miami now tied with Buffalo in the AFC East standings. They win it 28-25. And as expected, Cubs fans took over the city of Chicago last night. Thousands filling the streets downtown in celebration of their NLCS series clinching win, while hundreds more rushed to grab some team merchandise stamped with that ever-elusive World Series logo. It's been more than 70 years since Wrigley Field hosted a World Series game, and after last night's game, fans tried to describe their emotions.
I cried like a baby when they won. I have to say, everybody was nervous in the 9th inning. Everybody was just kind of pacing. And when they won, it was fabulous.
It was just the most exhilarating thing I've ever been through in my life. It was very surreal. I couldn't be happier.
Fans even got a shout out from the president, Barack Obama, a self-admitted White Sox fan who used to represent the city and state in the U.S. Senate, saying, "Go Cubs." The weather changed just in time for Suncoast cyclists who signed up for the 7th annual Tour de Northport. The annual fundraiser for the local nonprofit People for Trees drew an estimated 350 registered cyclists. Racers could choose from 3 mapped out road courses of 15, 35, or 65 miles. The event also introduced for the first time a new 25-mile gravel grinders route through Carlton Preserve and the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. Riders say the event is mostly about the cause and connecting with other biking enthusiasts.
We want to enjoy the wildlife. We want to go have an off-road scenic ride where we just saw a few deer prancing around, so makes for a great morning.
Due to all the rain that we had this year, most of the trail that we were going to take is underwater, so we had to revise the route a little bit.
Okay.
But we're still having fun.
People for Trees is a nonprofit devoted to protecting and maintaining the Suncoast healthy tree canopy. More to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease a brand new 2017 Lexus ES350 for only $379. Just $379 exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
On your TV, on your computer, on your camera, on your smartphone, on your Apple Watch. And now you can get ABC7, your Suncoast News on Fire TV. Just go to mysuncoast.com and click on the mobile tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver ABC7, your Suncoast News on the go. The all-new mysuncoast.com. Just another way we're here for you.
Sarasota Opera presents Donizetti's Don Pasquale. 6 performances from October 28th through November 13th. Reserve your tickets at sarasotaopera.org.
Come experience the precision, performance, and power of the Ram 1500 during Ram Power Days at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Built tough enough to help you conquer whatever the day may throw your way with all the comfort, gizmos, and gadgets you'd find in a luxury vehicle. And right now, get over 20% off. That's up to $15,000 off a new Ram 1500. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on a pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease a new Lexus RX 350 for only $419. Just $419, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Kids aren't the only ones getting excited for Halloween. Dozens of pets are also showing the Halloween spirit. The party and costume contest benefits two rescue organizations, Satchel's Last Resort and Vintage Paws. The money goes towards helping homeless pets get the medical care they need for a life of love.
I just recently moved to Florida from Austin, Texas, and I love what the community is about, and this is an awesome fundraiser, and I can't help but support the businesses here, so we're just having a good time today.
Vintage Paws is scheduled to host another night of tricks and treats next Saturday at the Devon. And finally tonight, a new member or almost new member of the Centennial Club. Clara Joaquin Sandelman was born on October 26, 1916, making her just a few days shy of that 100-year-old mark. Her family and friends celebrating the big accomplishment today at Rossler's in Sarasota. Clara first arrived to the Suncoast from Westchester, New York in the mid-70s. When she came here, she lived on Longboat Key, but she has since transitioned to the mainland in the 90s and 2000s. Her life lesson?
To tell the truth, to admit something that you feel guilty about, because it changes your personality to hide something within you.
Perrier.
It's not as good as Perrier.
Or what is it? Perrier.
Some of Clara's relatives have since relocated to the Suncoast as well. Her son Alan lives in the Meadows, and her grandson Jack lives in Lakewood Ranch. Congratulations.
And great words of wisdom from Clara. Thank you for
Absolutely.
that.
Well, 100 years. She's got plenty of it. We'll see you tonight.
Ugly. Fat.
Big eyes.
Dweeb. Useless.
Things that should never be said.
Shut it down. We are all beautiful.
We are strong. We are powerful.
Be loud. Be proud.
We have the power to put an end to bullying.
So go ahead, be you.
Be bold. Be different.
Be inspired.
Choose to stand up against bullies. Choose to be brave. Choose kindness.
Choose kindness.